Hey Devin, just a quick word on breathing and the technique therein. So there's a bunch of varying opinions on when and how and where, but I want to boil it down to a simple principle. So when it comes to pushing and pulling, the decision whether to breathe in or out is probably the question. So, in that context, any time that you need to have good upper back extension, that is when I believe that inhaling is important because you're thinking about expanding. So, an example with that would be when you do a pull up, you want to have big, tall chest, you're working your back muscles. Okay, so I would say either breathe in before that rep or inhale as you're doing your pull-up to engage your back, to extend the thoracic back, and that's going to help you be stronger in that position. So to contrast that, you can imagine, you can try for yourself, that exhaling as you're doing something like a pull-up just really doesn't help expand. It actually helps contract. So when you're doing something, for example, like a chin-up that we're looking to do really, biceps, you want to think about actually exhaling as you do the chin up, because there is sort of a core contraction element more so in the chin up, and the chin up is not so much about extending your back. So you can breathe in while doing a pull up because of upper back extension versus a chin up where it's going to be a little bit more of flexion within that. So you can test it yourself. It makes more sense when you're trying to get smaller. Or rather, when you're trying to get smaller, it helps to exhale to bring that stuff together. When you're trying to get larger, it helps to breathe in and expand. So another way that you could think of this as, if I'm trying to throw a pitch, right? I am trying to expand, and then I can throw. So think of it this way: if I go to throw something and exhale, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. So I want to expand, get big. So something else, like if I'm doing a split stance row, I'm trying to make my back big, so I'm going to inhale. If I'm trying to do a back squat, I need to get as tall as I can, I'm going to inhale. And when it comes to when to exhale during these things, I think of it like this. There's two ways you can think of it. Take that big inhale, hold it, and then you can exhale through pursed lips. Another way to think of it, and this, can come down to preference, and it depends also on the amount of loading and, how many reps you're doing, because you don't want to hold your breath for a long time. But when you're doing things that are really heavy, I think of it like this. So if your car, you're on the highway, flat tire, you got to move it off the highway, whatever. If you're gonna push that car, you're not gonna brace and then go like this, right? You're most likely gonna brace and hold it as you push. So if it's like a 1 rep max, I'd probably advise brace and hold it in as opposed to breathing out. When you have to do 10 reps of a squat, you can't hold your breath that whole time, right? And you can't even, brace. You're gonna run out of oxygen. So that's where, taking the breath in, expanding, and a little exhale as you're coming up, it does make sense. And like I said, with a 1 rep max or like 3 reps, you can hold on to it like that effort to push the car off the highway where you're not gonna exhale. So basically, extension, breathe in. Flexion, breathe out, like I mentioned with the pull-up versus the chin-up. So it does depend on the context, but when in doubt, really make sure you brace before you do anything. And that means contracting your abdominals, and it means contracting your glutes, basically. And I tend to believe that people are gonna breathe sort of normally. And it's not until like super advanced stages, like I mentioned with the 1RM, the 1 rep max, where breathing is gonna be a little bit more important. On the other hand, and you can look into this too, breathing in some people's perspective is probably the most important thing. So I'm somewhere in the middle around that. So let me know if it makes sense. If I need to expand upon anything with that, you let me know. Okay, bye.